Well, I would define Grove Hall however the people in Grove Hall want to define it.
The most positive quality that Grove Hall has is its diversity.
I think the pride of Grove Hall are the results that we're seeing.
The public perception of Grove Hall is it's on the rise.
Grove Hall has a lot of positive energy and a lot of positive momentum. This place has a lot of potential for prosperity and change. But first, before we look at that, let's look at how it was back then.
Well, I can go back to the 40s. Even though I was a little child, there was no such thing as a locked door. There was no such thing as stealing. We had a sense of pride.
Well, Grove Hall, back in those days, was a very busy area. The majority of the people had jobs, working, going to work, coming home, and you didn't have, you didn't have a lot of commotion or anything that brought on any kind of racial problems.
At the time when I was a little boy, in the 1950s and the 60s, there was not one vacant lot along that stretch of Blue Hill Avenue. We had pharmacies on every other corner.
We had a drugstore, delicatessen. We had stores all up and down Blue Hill Avenue.
There were fruit stands. People are talking about farmers markets today. Well, we had our farmers market all up and down Blue Hill Avenue. There was about a half dozen fruit stands, run primarily, I believe, by Jewish entrepreneurs, but others as well.
There were Jewish delicatessens, Jewish meat market. Castanoff's Bakery was down on Blue Hill Avenue. We had furniture stores. It was a thriving, economically thriving section of the city of Boston.
It was much safer because you had majority of the people, the Afro-Americans, they had their businesses in there, and the Afro-Americans that came in the area, they weren't looking for no problems or trouble. They had their jobs.
I remember Ma Dixon's had the best fried chicken and food and everything there. Always went there. My hairdresser was there, loved to go there. And they had bowling alleys there, car dealerships, all kind of things there. You know, it was really cool.
When I first moved on 7th Street in the Grove Hall area, my family was, I believe, the first or second African-American family on that street. The 7th Street Health Unit, which is about a quarter-mile north of Grove Hall, is the first public health unit in the United States of America. It's now called the Rosa Parks Daycare, across the street, a drugstore. The one and only time I had a chance to shake Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s hand was inside of that drugstore where I was employed. And upstairs was a chapel that also served as the offices for the New England Southern Christian Leadership Conference, Martin Luther King Jr.'s organization. So there's a lot of history.
All during the 60s, there was a lot of anger in the urban neighborhoods because of all of the kinds of discrimination that existed. There was already a lot of tension around bad housing and all of these other things that were happening in the community. And so if anything bothered people, all of a sudden, it could easily break out into violence. So we had a lot of urban riots during the 1960s. In Boston, we had these riots in 1967. And they happened in Grove Hall. And almost all of the destruction was never repaired. And so Blue Hill Avenue, actually, there were like big stores on Blue Hill Avenue that got burned down in the 1967 riots. And the businesses just never came back.
Because I came up in the 80s, so there's a lot of bad memories from Grove Hall back then. You know, there was the crack epidemic back then, and there was a lot of street gangs, and they were very violent. Right across from the Grove Hall Library right now, there's an empty lot, and before it was empty, it was a club called Club 48. And Club 48 was ran by a crew from New York who came to Boston and kind of took over a couple of projects with their drugs and their, you know, their guns and everything. They made a movie about that. It's a movie called In Too Deep, starring Omar Epps and LL Cool J's in it. And I brought it up because it's an empty lot right now, but when it was there, it was a club that was dark. Like, you go in there, it was just dark, there was no lights, everybody had a gun. People had so many guns in there that you could smell the guns when you came in the door. That's how many guns was in there. And it's like you didn't go there unless you had a gun. So if there was 100 dudes in there, you could pretty much assume that 100 dudes had a gun. You know, there's a lot of bad things went on in there.
When I first started getting into like the drug scene and just distribution, I was roughly 15 to 16. It really just seemed to be a way of life. Like in the community that I was growing up in, it was like, once again, the era before mine, the crack epidemic hit it. So my mother wasn't around, my father wasn't around, and my grandmother raised me. So she could provide the things I need, but she couldn't. It was hard for her to raise a man and also keep an eye on me to make sure I'm not getting into anything. So it was like almost like the older dudes on the block, they father you.
And so we're all, what you are seeing, right, is a neighborhood that is trying to recover from all of that. Right? How do you get that neighborhood to be the best neighborhood it could be for all the people who are living there now?
So in the past 60 years, Grove Hall has gone through periods of prosperity, civil unrest, and real struggles, which leads us to where we are today and where we'll be going tomorrow.
Grove Hall is, I think, the epicenter of need in the city of Boston relative to the census tract data around poverty, around education, around all of those metrics. But I like to think we are definitely the most resilient.
When the community's down, people are down. I think for me, the community affects the way people act. You know, if the community is just blight and desolate and dirty and everything is just not good, people are not gonna have no hope. They're not gonna have no confidence. They're gonna live how it is. They're gonna, you know, if it's dirty, they're gonna live dirty. If it's clean, they're gonna live clean. If it's you know, prosperous, they're gonna live prosperous. So I just think that however the community looks and it's shaping out, that's what's gonna shape the kids coming up.
When a community like Grove Hall that has intergenerational poverty, crime, all of the negativity associated with a place like that neighborhood internalizes that, there's a sense of helplessness and hopelessness that no piling on services will cure. I think our history with dealing with poverty has shown that.
The hopelessness affects the community, I mean, greatly, because the hope, that is everything. Once you see them lose hope, that's when everything really bottoms out. Like, once they have nothing greater to believe in, once a man wakes up every day and he doesn't have that overall purpose to believe in and he just feels like he's here, it's almost like he has no purpose.
And we know that the people who are most likely to hurt people are hurt people. And we have a lot of hurt people who are walking around.
I mean, oftentimes when you're in the struggle, you think no one cares. And most of the people who's in the struggle with you, they don't care either because it feels like I'm struggling too. So it breeds a every man for himself mentality. So you just stop caring and you think no one else cares.
And the community at its best is a community where it's not only about me or I got mine, but understanding that I don't have mine until all of us have ours.
Now, if someone shows you they care first, you're more likely to show that you care back.
When those people in that community see themselves as people with strengths and assets, see a future with a different set of possibilities, and join hands with others who see the same things, then real change happens.
So we want to know you're willing to fight to stay in your home.
Yes. Yes.
And everyone else in here is willing to fight to stay in their homes. And guess what? We'll fight with you.
It would mean a lot for Grove Hall and any community for people to successfully own their homes because it builds confidence. People of color in the community need confidence. They need to see they need to see hope. And I think if Grove Hall, if they noticed Grove Hall was getting a serious push, and if there's something in it for them to embrace, to become one with, to want to volunteer with, to want to help with the uprising of it, then people will start to, confidence, don't underestimate the power of confidence.
Like, we got so many stories and so many things to tell, so many issues we got to talk about, and really we're just trying to get people to get with this positive movement, so.
And definitely we're here to raise awareness of all the issues that we all face every day. And we're here to restore the strength and hope in our community into, when we was younger, we didn't have nothing to worry about. So let's bring that back in 2012. It's gonna be a good year, like they said, y'all.
What you see here is our brand new library. It's about 4 years old now, 4 years old now. We had a old, decrepit, fallen down library, and now we have a brand new state-of-the-art library that gets lots of use. The mark of a resilient community is definitely the ability for people to get educated and to build knowledge. The other thing that people don't realize about libraries in the city of Boston is that it is one of the only places in the city of Boston that it's free to use the internet. And in a day and age when we deal with the issue of the digital divide, it is very important that people have an opportunity to get online. Many jobs and many companies only allow you to put your information online, and that's how you get your job. So this is not only an educational institution, but it's an employment agency also.
The part of Grove Hall that's impressive to me is the library. And I mean, I feel that way because knowledge is survival, so this is where they keep all the knowledge at. So if you want to survive, this is where you need to be, so you can know what you need to know to get where you want to go. They redid it, so at this point, I mean, it looks like $1 million home. Staircasing is nice, computers, it's always in use. It's family friendly, it's quiet, it's a nice environment.
So I want you to save it, I want you to name it,
right,
and I want you to save it on desktop. Computer is the way of life now. It's going to continue to grow. And if we don't step up and be a part of it, we'll be left behind. What I see in terms of us having these classes here at 402B Blue Hill Avenue is an opportunity for this community and the people within this community to have access to something that they cannot afford and it's free. I think that I'm a prime example of what you can do if you put your mind to it. There's always the opportunity to enhance what you have.
I'm 64 years old. I never learned anything about computer. I got a 9th grade education. There's nothing that I can't fix. There's nothing. I don't know, space shuttle, anything, I don't care. But I cannot work a computer, and I am starting to catch on. Well, it's very much, on my economy, it's very good that I don't have a free class to take and stuff like that.
There are a lot of resources that people probably don't know about yet, like the Roxbury Multi-Service Center. They just recently reopened up here on the corner of Quincy and Warren Street, and they provide job resources and clinics, and job training sessions and things like that there. You have the Freedom House, you have Project Right, they're always guiding people to what's happening in the city and the city sources and things like that. The high schools have programs after school for adults, adult learning. We have the Roxbury Y over here that always has programs going on. And up in the Grove Hall Library, they have programs.
I got 4 kids. I try to bring them to as many functions as I can. Whatever I see, flyers, whatever, I just bring them everywhere because they're kids, you know? They actually love the zoo too, and it's so convenient. We can just walk up there. And with a lot of time with military benefits, so I get to bring them in for free and stuff.
The zoo, I think the zoo up here, Franklin Park Zoo, is great. I mean, it's great to have a zoo in the community. I love that. I've always loved that. To take my daughters to Franklin Park Zoo on a nice day, it's beautiful. We don't have to go far. It's right there. The zoo has been uplifted now. Anytime I can spend time with my daughters and them bonding and we're bonding and we're having a good time, that's what I live for. Those are the days that make me wanna keep doing what I'm doing, and it makes me feel good about life. It makes me appreciate life. The golf course, I love that too. That's great to have there. So I think that's something that's beautiful. Franklin Park, right in the community? You can't beat that.
Grove Hall is a beautiful place. Like when I was with Tony in Franklin Park, and I was just looking at all the trees and all the life that was going on, I was just like, what? This is here. Like I knew it was here, but it dawned on me that it was here. You know what I mean? That it's here out of all places. People from all over need to see that, to see this. What's going on, what we have here.
If you look around to your left and your right, there's nice houses both sides. It's a quiet street, you know what I'm saying? People just living, loving life. But because of the negative connotation that comes with living in this neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? All this type of stuff is ignored for reasons I don't understand. Look at this house, it's beautiful. Like, what the? Nice little vegetation around, you know what I'm saying? This is what the media needs to show. Nice houses don't only exist in Sudbury or Newton. Nice houses exist right here, right now, in my city, in my town.
I would still like to see a lot more home ownership opportunities. We've been the Neighborhood Development Corporation of Grove Hall. Our focus has always been on equity housing. This was a totally vacant and abandoned street. And you can see homes go all the way up. Every one of these are first-time home buyers. These are two-family homes and affordable homes, and it provides an opportunity for a first-time homeowner. This is our latest project. We literally took a whole block and we transformed it. This is a whole vacant block between Devon and Brunswick. And what you're looking at here is, you see the storefront here, and actually they're rented out. And here you have 6, believe it or not, townhouses, upstairs and downstairs. That's what you're looking at. This represents 10 families here that own. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. How's everything? Everything is doing well, thank you. Still holding up for me. That's it, huh? Get to do it. This represents 10 families that now, first-time home buyers that now own their own condominium. These are people that live in the community, wanted to stay in the community, have taken a sense of pride in ownership. And this is how we economically empower them.
So welcome to the CNS Tavern, everybody. One of the last standing bars in Roxbury. Okay. Now, without further ado, I want you guys to give a hand to Brad Barcher in Session 4 Midweek.
we're not just a bar. You know, we're not just a place where people just come and drink. Because a lot of people that come in here don't drink alcohol. But I wanted to provide them with the live entertainment, because a lot of people can't get downtown to do that, or they don't have the money to do that. You know, but they want to hear live entertainment. They want to be able to talk to their politicians. You know, so you bring them here for that. This is a gathering place. You know, this is home for a lot of people. You know, and they come in here, and I want to make sure that they get everything that they deserve, just like everybody else has downtown. And it proves to people that, you know, Roxbury is not what the media says it is. You can come in here and have a great time, and a lot of bands love to come in here and play.
Next month, the date hasn't been set yet, but we have the city councilors coming in again for the 4th question and answer session. So please, if you have any concerns or any questions for your city councilors, you need to be here.
What we've done in the past is we've set up dates with the city councilors and those who wanted to be city councilors, and we set up the stage, the lights, the tables. We invite everybody to come in, and we basically have a Q&A. It's like, what do they call the town meeting? We have town meetings with them. They can ask anything they want to ask. Nothing is off limits.
For sure, to me, the #1 best asset in Grove Hall is the radio station. Touch 106, because that's the community, and that's the voice of Grove Hall.
It's Touch 106 TMS, the morning show, and I've got tickets, a couple of pair of tickets that I'm going to give away for the 2nd annual Stop the Violence fashion show. Touch 106.1 FM, the fabric of the black community, was launched because there was a need, there was a void. Our community needed a voice. Touch is that platform where our community can come on the radio and talk about issues that are affecting them, talk about the needs and the wants. Having a voice, reaching out to the elected officials. You know, our community, our listeners are working 2 and 3 jobs. They don't have time to go downtown to the State House, but they can pick up the phone and use their BlackBerry and call into the radio station and ask the city councilors, ask the state senators questions.
Boston Rising is into Grove Hall because we believe that Grove Hall is a place that, although it has tremendous challenge and struggle, has incredible strength and asset and opportunity. So we created a marketplace on Thursday nights at the Grove Hall Community Center where people could come for a couple of hours, have dinner with us, talk in more depth about their notions of quality.
Merengue Restaurant.
That's quality.
The Mecca Mall.
That's quality. The young people I worked with this summer.
That's quality.
We even offered a quality contest, a Q contest, where people could tell us about their ideas and possibly win up to $10,000 prizes for great business concepts, up to $5,000 for neighborhood ideas, building neighborhoods.
So, I started off by going to the Q Marketplace meetings. Probably a month later, the Q contest started. So once it started, filled out the application online, 3 quick questions, sent me an email maybe a month later saying that you are eligible to go to a 6-week business class that runs weekly, once a week. With the Grove Hall Library, my first-hand experience is, greatness. This is exactly where I did my research for the Q contest. I met with a lot of the consultants here. Sketched out and plotted a lot of paperwork. So this is exactly where the foundation was laid for Fly Syndicate.
Now for our 3 business concept winners, we have is an innovative lifestyle and urban youth brand for 16 to 24-year-olds that empowers them to establish their unique identity within society through fashion. Fly Syndicate, come on up.
My name's Freedom Perry. I'm CEO of Fly Syndicate Clothing. To me, it feels great to say that because most people will work all their lives to say that. Now the wild card I was thinking was this gold mine design right here.
What's the reference? Well, I get it, but how does it fit in to the brand?
Just cause I feel like we're a gold mine. Like not only are our mines golden, but we're a gold mine.
Right.
So you know that was the double thing, the double entendre. Yeah, that was that right there. And the slogan for the company is "Fly above the grounded," and I feel like that's what the company does. It flies above the grounded. I mean, with the products that we intend to put out and we have put out, we want the relatability to be there. I don't want Ariel pastel. What does that mean to me? What does Old Navy mean to me? What does a man on a horse with a stick mean to me? It doesn't mean nothing to me. What is that? It doesn't. Never played polo. Never was an option to play polo in the hood. Never seen the horses unless the police was riding on them downtown. Like, none of that stuff I can relate to, but I'm gonna spend top dollar to buy that and support that, and they don't even support me. Not only do they not support me, they don't even gear their stuff towards me. And my brand, I feel like it's geared towards you. It's geared towards the urban youth. It wants to portray the struggle and progress, but the beauty in the beast. There's a beauty in the struggle that we all came through, just coming out of Roxbury, coming out of Dorchester, Mattapan. That poverty inspired creativity, because what we didn't have, we had to make up for in other ways. So these things that we was going through, it created us just children from the bottom. That's how I felt like. And this is a piece. This is a piece. This clothing line is a piece of me. I'm a piece of the bottom. I'm a piece of Roxbury. I'm a piece of the community. So it's a piece of me, and I'm giving it to the people. And when they give me their support, I give it back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just, oh, I want to take your money. Now I want to give back to the Boys and Girls Club. I want to be Parks, Rec Center, options, because with no options, there's no nothing.
You got different styles and stuff like that?
Yeah, I got a lot of different colors. You could check it out online, or you could just give me a call, but I definitely got colors, and it's constantly releasing colors. I stopped selling drugs because I was arrested. They kicked in my door, arrested me. I went to court for about 1.5 years fighting the case. I beat it in trial, but it cost me money just for lawyers, money just to live in jail, you know, with the phone calls, food and all that. At that point, I decided to get my GED. I felt like education was survival. Like, I started to realize that the things that we didn't know was hurting us. So the more that we did know, the more aware we could be. The more aware we could be, the better decisions we was making. The better decisions we was making, the better destiny we was led to. To bring Grove Hall and the community to the next level, I think we would need unity and communication. So when you gather everybody around like that and give that one safe place or that one rendezvous point, which everybody knows no matter what, whether you choose to come or come, that this is gonna be occurring every week, that it gives the platform to create that unity and communication.
I think the marketplace has done a couple of things. I think that it's new, and I think that it has brought people together in a format with the marketplace that people can process feelings, people can learn other cultures with conversations with other people in reference to networking and bringing people together. And I think that when you're trying to raise the bar in any community, you have to bring people out. People need to communicate other than with a tragedy.
When I walk up and down my streets, there's like mad cookouts, and there's people having like potlucks and whatnot, and inviting people to come to their block party or whatever. It's like a lot of unity there.
We're here on Blue Hill Ave, down the street from the heart of Grove Hall. This is the Caribbean Festival. Everybody comes out to rep their individual countries, but in reality, we're bringing Grove Hall closer together.
I honestly believe that the diversity here is just, you won't find it in most places that you go. When we have events, you know, Puerto Rican Festival, the Carnival, you will see every race out there. And it's one of the most happiest, prideful events ever.
This is a way of reclaiming our neighborhoods.
When you say reclaim our neighborhood, like, what do you mean?
And every time that we do something positive, whoever does it, including the Puerto Rican Festival, we are reclaiming our neighborhood. We are saying it is good to come out to Franklin Park, and it's good to come to the Franklin Park Zoo. It's good to go to the Puerto Rican Festival, to the Caribbean Festival. It's good to go to the Dominican Festival. It is good to participate in all of these great activities that go on here at the Franklin Park on a day-to-day basis. And every time that we do that, every time that a group does that, we are reclaiming our neighborhood. We're reclaiming our community.
A lot of young people start out thinking like they're the only ones who want to see something change. We hire 36 young people. We train them to be leaders. They use those skills to organize a series of events, initiatives, dialogues, and they bring together 4,000 people a year, most of them teenagers. And they bring those people together to build the relationships between them and to have those relationships be built on positive values. And in that way, we shift what happens in the community.
We are all humans. We share the same feelings, just in different situations. If one relation to someone can create strong connections with everyone, then imagine what we could do, not only as individuals, but as a whole.
Teens and young adults are critical. There's power in young people's ability to organize and to come together.
Youth have everything with the development in Grove Hall. And I say that because the world is in the youth's hands.
The youth are 30% of the population, but they are 100% of our future.
The youth, I think they mean everything in the development of Grove Hall because they're the future. So they're what's next.
Entiende, principalmente la juventud, porque tienen un futuro por delante.
Teens listen to other teens listen to their friends, and you know, it doesn't sound like a lecture when teens use their voice. It sounds like they really actually care about the issue.
How they're affected and what they do and how they grow up is what's going to shape Grove Hall.
We used to play in the same playgrounds, had crushes on the same boys. Next stop, change.
And so I think we have to concentrate on looking at the neighborhood as this big resource that we have, right? And that it's sort of, we haven't thought about it in a way that brings it all together.
How I would describe the Grove Hall neighborhood would just basically be like, it has a ridiculous amount of potential because not only the people, but like what's here.
Grove Hall is the neighborhood and the community that made me. It's fertile soil. It is a place that I love as much for what it is, but also for what it's becoming. You know, there's many neighborhoods and communities that have it all, right? You have everything, the money's flowing, all the schools are good, more power to you. But I feel compelled to be at a place that's getting there, that's on the journey, that requires work. And I think when you have to work for something, you really respect it. When you have to work for something, you really appreciate it. And when you go through some stuff, you can look back and say, look how far we've come. And I can truly say today, look how far we come. And I look forward to, and I build on, and I work for every single day that 10 years from now, that we can all say, look how far we've come, Grove Hall. What we have here is an amazing, amazing mural done by young people in our community. This is headed up by Sister Virginia in the Grove Hall in DC. And what you see here is a testament to Black inventors. These are young people who put this together, and it's a testament to our community and a connection with our history and our past.
We have in this community future scientists, doctors, lawyers, engineers, maybe even the next president of color. None of that would surprise me. So, I look forward to a bright future.
One of my greatest hopes for Grove Hall is everything will be like connected, everything will be unified. And I want to hear and see more voices come together within the Grove Hall community so we can come together, discuss issues, and make solutions for those issues as a whole.
My positive vision for Grove Hall a few years from now, I want it to just be the mecca of growth in Massachusetts. Like, just not Boston, but just in Massachusetts, period. Like, it's the mecca of growth. This is where everything new and innovative transpires at. This is where it's nurtured at. This is where it stems from. Like, I really want it to be the heart of not just my city, but my state.
When you really look at the strength of the Grove Hall community and the assets we created, you can believe that we can build a new prosperity.